Today, I will use the power of policies to show you the buying and selling points of the Black Series, including coking coal, coke, rebar, steel and ore, in the past 2 years, so that you can have a more intuitive feeling. The 811 exchange rate reform in 2015 was a very important turning point. After the 811 exchange rate reform, capital outflow was serious and foreign exchange reserves continued to decline, which opened an important time node. On the one hand, the consumption of foreign exchange reserves is related to core interests, which we have talked about before. On the other hand, state-owned enterprises, as the most reliable creators of foreign exchange, will inevitably be protected by policies. If you don't understand these backgrounds, it doesn't matter. Just look at what the policies are doing, what kind of policy measures are being formulated by the relevant departments, and what kind of effects are these policy measures producing. Just figure these things out, and you'll be fine. Let's take a look at the news now. News 1. On the morning of November 10, 2015, Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President of the State, Chairman of the Central Military Commission, and Head of the Central Financial and Economic Leading Group, presided over the 11th meeting of the Central Financial and Economic Leading Group to study economic structural reform and urban work. News 2. On January 26, 2016, the 12th meeting of the Central Financial and Economic Leading Group was held to study the supply-side structural reform plan. The first paragraph of the news release issued by Xinhua News Agency mentioned that while moderately expanding total demand, we should also reduce overcapacity and inventory, deleverage, reduce costs and make up for shortcomings, strengthen high-quality supply in the production field, reduce ineffective supply, expand effective supply, improve the adaptability and flexibility of the supply structure, improve total factor productivity, and make the supply system better adapt to changes in the demand structure. Reducing overcapacity and inventory itself is likely to drive up commodity prices. But what does this mean? If you think it is not sufficient, then the next one is sufficient. What is the sentence below? Reduce ineffective supply and expand effective supply. What is ineffective? What is effective? I believe that everyone can now fully understand this distinction. Simply put, ineffective corresponds to private enterprises, and effective corresponds to state-owned enterprises. Ineffective supply and reducing prices will of course skyrocket. This is the first, most clear and strongest signal of an increase, and it is also a clear buying point given to you by the relevant departments. This time node is supported by the will of the state and guaranteed by the power of the state, so it is a very strong buying point. Then, there was the second piece of news. On July 4, 2016, the National State-Owned Enterprise Reform Symposium was held in Beijing. Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President of the State, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, made important instructions, emphasizing that state-owned enterprises are an important force in strengthening the country's comprehensive strength and safeguarding the common interests of the people. They must be made stronger, better, and bigger with confidence, and constantly enhance their vitality, influence, and risk resistance to achieve the preservation and appreciation of state-owned assets. State-owned enterprises must be made stronger, better, and bigger with confidence, and constantly enhance their vitality, influence, and risk resistance to achieve the preservation and appreciation of state-owned assets. As we all know, state-owned enterprises control China's best resources. For enterprises to achieve rapid development, it is very slow to tap potential, rely on technological progress, and strengthen management. It is difficult to achieve immediate results. What is the shortcut? Price increase. Because state-owned enterprises fully control China's best resources, once the price goes up, then state-owned enterprises will immediately become stronger, bigger, and better. This is the second most clear and strongest signal of commodity price increases. Behind this signal of increase is also the national power and national will, and it is also an important time note caused by the strong promotion of relevant departments. From the policy perspective, there were almost no shorting points during this period, and all the points given were buying points. So, when did the first selling point, or shorting point, appear? It was on April 6, 2017, the first formal meeting between the heads of the two major countries, China and the United States, which attracted worldwide attention. At that time, U.S. Commerce Secretary Ross said that the most meaningful thing about this meeting was the 100-day plan. Normally, trade negotiations, especially trade negotiations between China and the United States, have been bargaining for many years. The 100-day plan is considered to be the first progress in a long time. Considering the breadth and magnitude of the integration, this may be a bit ambitious, but it is a huge progress in the negotiation process. I think it is a very, very important symbol of enhancing the relationship between the two countries. Then, U.S. Commerce Secretary Ross further added that the two sides have a clear understanding on trade issues, and we do need to strive for a fairer trading environment. In addition, although the two sides have initially finalized a plan, the 100-day plan, during the meeting, we very much hope to see some specific categories of this plan as soon as possible. China and the United States have common economic interests, and I think they are very eager to cooperate with us in many areas. As you know, trade is about the economic structure of the two major countries. It takes a long time and a lot of work to make adjustments, especially major adjustments. Now it is actually promoted by the 100-day plan. It is necessary to find a solution to the problem through negotiations within 100 days, and it is a solution to a very difficult problem. What does this mean? China must slow down and reduce exports to the United States in a short period of time. This is of course a bit negative for commodities. How long will this negative last? Pay attention. It is actually very clear here. It is a 100-day plan, which means that the power of the 100-day plan will last for more than 3 months. That is, it will end when it is close to 100 days. After 3 months, China's pressure will gradually ease. Then, an important piece of news came out. On July 14, 2017, the Ministry of Environmental Protection issued a notice that as of the end of June, 28 cities in the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region and surrounding areas, that is, Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei and surrounding areas, had found 176,000 scattered and polluting enterprises. Those enterprises that cannot be upgraded and renovated to meet emission standards will be closed before the end of September 2017. The Ministry of Environmental Protection will organize 102 working groups to enter the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, and the counties and districts of the 2+26 cities to strengthen the accountability and information disclosure of telephone inspections on the air pollution control. Pay attention, July 14, 2017, when the 100-day plan of the China-US version is about to be completed, on April 6, China will remove the tight ring. Why? Because after the 100-day plan, China's artificially slow pace is not what we want. The relevant departments just want to cooperate with the United States to let the United States see our sincerity. But deep down, we still have the desire to continue to push up the prices of commodities. Then China will remove the tight ring and continue to be confident and strong, and expand state-owned enterprises. It is certain that prices will rise. Therefore, July 14, 2017 is the third most clear and strongest signal of commodity price increase. So everyone sees that the prices of commodities including the four major kings, including coking coal, coke, iron ore, and rebar, have been pulled up again. On July 14, 2017, an environmental protection storm blew across the country. and many small and medium-sized enterprises were closed, which means that a large amount of ineffective supply has been cleared. The substantial reduction in supply will inevitably lead to price increases. The next leader became the Environmental Protection Department. Why did it become the Environmental Protection Department? Because the original force has not changed. The environmental storm has become a new force affecting the trend. Then, very important news appeared again. These news are the forces that can determine the trend, so we must pay close attention. On August 21st, the Ministry of Environmental Protection, the National Development and Reform Commission, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology and other 10 ministries and commissions jointly issued the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei and surrounding areas 2017 to 2018 autumn and winter comprehensive air pollution control action plan in many provinces and cities. It requires cement, including special cement, and other building materials industries to suspend production during the heating season, that is, from November 15, 2017 to March 15, 2018. Cement grinding stations should suspend production during heavy pollution weather warnings. This severely limits the supply of cement. Cement price increases are inevitable. However, cement price increases, cement shortages, and hoarding further intensify cement shortages. Construction site shutdowns will soon occur. Then, will the four major commodities, rebar, steel ore, coking coal, and coke, definitely fall again? Because the demand for construction site shutdowns has dropped. This is the second clear short selling point after the China-US 100 Days Plan. The same environmental storm, the previous one promoted the rise of bulk commodities, while this one caused the adjustment of bulk commodities. Why is the difference so big? The root cause lies in the different focus of the two. The environmental storm that started on July 14 targeted the supply level and reduced supply, which would lead to price increases. The environmental storm in late August targeted the demand level and caused demand to fall. The effect it produced was naturally a price drop. Some students asked, "You said that the result of the construction site shutdown was deduced after the news came out on August 21st. How can you be so sure?" Moreover, the cement production in Beijing, Tianjin and Hebei has stopped, but cement production in other places is also being produced, which can also make up for the supply. How can the construction site stop production? Such questions are actually very easy to solve. First, the supply and demand of cement are a kind of balance. Not to mention the suspension of cement production in such a large area as Beijing, Tianjin and Hebei. Even if several large-scale cement plants stop production, the market will react. Second, cement production in other places is also facing the problem of environmental storm, because the environmental storm is not a regional problem, it is a national problem. What is the only difference? Some are light and some are heavy, but the environmental storm is blowing. Third, cement is regional, which is very important. Cement is regional and regional. Why? Because its transportation cost is too high. Local construction still uses cement from the region as much as possible. So the national cement market is divided into 6 major regions: North China, Northeast China, East China, Central South, Southwest China, and Northwest China. In a region, the supply and demand of cement are balanced. Once cement production in a certain region stops, this balance will be broken, which will have a very important impact on prices. Then the next question, the suspension of construction site, I deduced it. How can I be so sure? I have told you before that I use multiple mainline analysis to verify each other and further confirm the trend. So how do I confirm the trend? The first way is to verify through friends. By calling friends who are engaged in construction, it is easy to know the cement supply situation and whether the construction site has stopped work, and how large the area of the suspension is, so you can understand the situation. Second, verify through news media reports. More importantly, the relevant departments are afraid that you are not firm in your judgment of the trend, and that your analysis of the trend is still vague. Then, they give you a clearer signal. After the Ministry of Environmental Protection issued the action plan for the comprehensive governance of air pollution in the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region and surrounding areas in the autumn and winter of 2017 to 2018, the local versions of the action plans for the three major governance areas of Beijing, Tianjin and Hebei have been released one after another recently. Let's take a look, first at Beijing. Beijing requires that all types of road projects, water conservancy projects, earthwork operations, and house demolition construction in Beijing's 6 urban districts and 10 new urban districts be suspended for 4 months, from November 15, 2017 to March 15, 2018. For projects that refuse to stop work or fail to meet dust standards, the bidding qualifications of the relevant units will be suspended. The use of machinery that emits black smoke is prohibited at construction sites throughout the city. Construction sites will be inspected weekly and at irregular intervals. There will be full coverage law enforcement inspections at least once a month. If the violation is serious, their bidding qualifications in the Beijing construction market will be suspended. Let's take a look at Tianjin. The assessment period in Tianjin is longer, 6 months. The suspension period in Tianjin is from November 2017 to March 2018. All earthwork operations of various construction projects, house demolition and removal construction, cement mixing and pouring and other operations are stopped in the built-up areas of Tianjin. Earthwork operations such as road projects and water conservancy projects are also stopped. The main responsible persons of towns and streets with prominent environmental problems, great impacts and poor environmental quality will be directly interviewed by the municipal leaders. Those who commit the same offense 3 times will be dismissed on the spot and dealt with accordingly. Next, let's take a look at Hebei. Hebei province has proposed 40 strengthening measures in 13 aspects. The main goal of the plan is to achieve a 15% decrease in fine particles and heavy pollution days in Hebei province, in autumn and winter, that is, from November 1, 2017 to March 31, 2018. The average concentration of PM2.5 in Hebei province will drop by more than 15% compared with the same period from 2016 to 2017. And the number of heavy pollution days in cities in the air pollution transmission channel will drop by more than 15% compared with the same period from 2016 to 2017. The plan proposes that during the heating season, except for major livelihood projects and key projects, all types of construction projects in urban built-up areas will be stopped to minimize dust pollution. Have you noticed? Beijing, Tianjin and Hebei have all achieved the suspension of construction projects. Beijing has suspended construction for 4 months, and Tianjin has suspended construction for 6 months. Why is Tianjin's suspension so long? They must maintain a high degree of consistency with the central government with a more positive attitude and higher political awareness. What does it mean that so many construction sites have stopped construction? This means that the demand for commodities has dropped significantly, which is of course a major negative. This is actually a further confirmation of the national environmental storm on August 21st, including Beijing, Tianjin and Hebei, and a further confirmation of the downward trend of the 4 major commodities, such as coking coal, coke, iron ore and rebar. The relevant departments are so considerate and humane for investors, and they are so earnest, pointing out the direction of the trend again and again, marking the buying and selling points so clearly for you, and they are afraid that you are not firm enough, and they use new policies to confirm for you. Do you see any relevant departments in the world that provide such meticulous services? If you still can't make good investments, how can you live up to their hard work day and night? In addition, Mrs. Yellen, who is thousands of miles away in the United States, officially announced that the balance sheet reduction will begin in October this year. The internal and external collaboration is perfect. Therefore, it is not so difficult to find the main trend and the main investment line. Through listening to the lectures, especially the art of investment, the words of the moment, and the micro classroom, friends who listen together will soon be able to develop this ability. In fact, you may also feel that your sensitivity to news and your sensitivity to certain time nodes are obviously increasing. Moreover, you feel that you are not as tired as you were at the beginning when you listened to the lectures now. It is obviously becoming easier. Your analysis has also become more organized and you have a clue. At least you know where you should work hard.